Hey, what is up there, boys? This is Cobrak. We have some patch note changes that I need to record again for you guys, because I just sat here for 20 minutes recording, and the fucking mic wasn't working. So, we're going to start with Warlock on this occasion, then I'm going to run through all of the other changes in this blue post, and see what's up. Big fucking changes, boys. Huge changes coming in. Actually, I shouldn't start here. I'm going to start with the PvE changes, which are up at the top here. So, we got Warlock changes up here, man. Okay. Warlock Affliction, Malefic Rapture damage increased by 500%, Drain Soul damage increased by 20%. We got some single target damage increases for Affy going on in the PvE department, and we also got a happy little case pull damage increase for Destro, only 5%, but well, there you go. Let's move on to the good news, shall we? The PvP changes, dude. Let's fucking go, man. Okay, it actually starts off with pretty bad news, but Demonic Embrace no longer grants us 10% additional stamina in PvP. This is a bigger nerf than it might appear. It's not just a reduction in health, it's also a reduction in value of our Health Stone and our Dark Pact Shield, which both scale based on either our current health or our max health pool. So yeah, it's a bit of a fucking, it's a bit of a kick in the ball sack, but at the same time, was Warlock a little bit too tanky in PvP? Yeah, it is. It really is, man. So, warranted change. Play safer once this fucking shit goes live, and expect to be trained to death by melees even more often than you're already being trained to death by melees. So, there you go, man. Affliction, Soul Port duration. Okay, yeah, so this is all of these Soulburn nerfs to Affy. Their Soulburn Teleport is being nerfed down to 6-second duration in PvP. Soulburn Drain Life no longer grants an Absorb when healing at full health in PvP. And Soulburn Healthstone healing is reduced to 20%, was 30% PvP combat. So, pretty sizable nerfs to Affliction's survivability overall in PvP. Pretty big nerfs to their sustained survivability, I guess. Is this warranted? I've heard that Affliction's survivability just feels absolutely fucking out of control. At least that's what I've heard from my friends who play melee. They say that they feel almost indestructible. So maybe these changes are warranted, you know? Maybe the stamina nerf was enough. I don't know if these nerfs were actually required as well, but at least they're affecting only Affliction, is all I'm saying, okay? Demonology, the cooldown of Cold Fell Hunter, which is Demonology's spell lock ability, is now 60 seconds, doubled up from 30 seconds. So, yeah, I think this is fine. It's always annoyed me a little bit that, you know, Demonology has so much unavoidable, just crazy sustainable damage, while at the same time having so many instant cast, you know, things that they can control your team with. So yeah, this is a step in the right direction for me. I feel like Demonology honestly needs more nerfs, given just how fucking insanely powerful it is. It's probably the best spec in the game right now in solo shuffles. So that's something, you know. I don't know, dude. Maybe it's not quite as good in like constructed threes. I don't really know. I haven't played that many. Destruction, let's fucking go, man. Case ball damage increased by 15% in PvP combat. Very, very lovely. Very, very welcome. It hits like shit. It's not that scary, you know. Even when you get like 2 off in a row, you get like 1 case bolt and then a quick cast case bolt. Even then, I swear to God, people's health just goes up sometimes, you know. So yeah, this is very, very welcome. Shadowbend damage increased by 30% in PvP, and Incinerate damage increased by 30%. Now, these are actually much more interesting, and these are way bigger buffs than they might seem. And I'm going to make the case to y'all right now that actually the Shadowburn buff and this Incinerate buff is much more important than the Case Bolt buff. A lot of people are going to be talking about the Case Bolt buff because it's juicier, it's meatier, you know, it's going to feel better. But I think that the Shadowburn and Incinerate buffs are actually a bigger deal. Why? Well, I introduce you to... Oh, fuck. Where's the changes gone? Destruction. Just gonna find them real quick. There we are, boys. Okay, we're saved, okay? These are some upcoming talent changes that are going to be landing on the PTR very soon, if they're not live already. And these affect Destro a lot, man. So I'm just going to hone in on the Destro ones, then we're going to cover the rest of the patch notes straight up. So, first of all, talent changes, man. Ashen Remains. You all know what Ashen Remains is, right? Case Bolt Incinerate, deal 5% increased damage to targets affected by Immolate. Put a couple of points in this, it goes up to 10%. Yeah, this is also going to include Shadowburn now. So that's an extra 10% damage buff to Shadowburn. Outright, straight up, right there. You know what I mean? Really, really nice. Cool shit. Bend to Ashes. Case Bolt and Rain of Fire. This is your Incinerate damage stacker. Case Bolt and Rain of Fire increase the damage of your next 2 Incinerates by, it's actually 30%, with 2 points in it, as you can read right here. Well, Shadowban is also going to be included in Burn to Ashes now as well. Not increased damage, but it's going to give your Incinerate the increased damage, right? Shadowban increases the damage of your next Incinerate by 15%. So you only get like one stack. And it's actually 30% by the way. Shadowban increases the damage of your next Incinerate by 30%, stacking up to 4 times. So you only get one stack from this shit, but I mean, it's just fucking good, right? It's a minor buff. I mean, how often are you really just standing there in PvP spamming Incinerates and making a lot of use out of Burn to Ashes? Not that often, but at the same time, it's a fair little buff. Next up, what you have, this is just the case bolt damage buffs and the PvP multiplier right here. Very lovely. Eradication. Check this out, man. Oh my god. So case bolt increases the damage you deal to the target by, again, this is 10% with 2 points for 7 seconds. Very, very lovely. Well, this is also going to be proc now by Shadowban, dude. Oh my god. So I've actually been skipping Eradication completely. I felt like the 7-second duration, it's only 10% damage for 7 seconds, and it's only when you get off a Chaos Bolt. I just find that in arenas and stuff like that, and like against organized opponents or even just semi-organized opponents in solo shuffle, actually getting off the Chaos Bolt and then capitalizing on this short burst window where you've got like 7 seconds to deal slightly increased damage to somebody, it just wasn't even that worth it, in my view. I'll be picking this shit now, man. This is crazy, okay? Being able to trigger this basically at will with an instant cast, like via Shadowban, and bear in mind that, like, the majority of the time you're going to have Havoc up on somebody, so you're actually triggering Eradication on 2 targets now, very, very consistently, you know, with Shadowban, cleaving out all that damage. This is just very, very good. I've got to be reshuffling my spec a little bit now. I'm going to have to make a new fucking talent build video, man. Already, it's been like 1 week. But there you go. It's going to include Shadowban. Fantastic, brilliant. We got to include Eradication in all of our PvP builds going forwards. Very, very lovely shit. Okay, man, so that is all of those happy little changes. We got a bunch of PvE changes at the start over here. So I'm just going to kind of blaze through these, and I'll be real. A lot of these classes and a lot of these specs I just don't have any recent experience with. So I'm going to rely on you guys to see what you guys think about these changes in the comments. So for Resto Druid, all healing is increased by 5%. This change does not apply to PvP combat. So yeah, PvE only switch up. Embrace the Dream healing increased by 25%. I don't know what Embrace the Dream actually is. So yeah, minor buffs to Resto, but in PvE only. I think that they get a small nerf to Life Loom in PvP a little bit later on, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Soul Reaper damage increased by 10% for Death Knights. Soul Reaper feels terrible right now. I honestly could see this being buffed by 25%, and it still might not be pickable, to be totally honest. But there you go, it's getting a small damage buff. Maybe it's better in PvE than PvP. There you go. I was really expecting Frost to get some love in this patch, actually, even if it's in PvP only. But it looks like Frost EKs are being shunted aside, despite being one of the lowest performing melee specs in the game, in arenas and stuff right now. But there you go. Unholy's getting all kinds of love. Lots of little damage tweaks, lots of little damage increases. Coil, Clawing Shadows, Scared Strike, Plague Bringer, Reaping. Now increases the damage of Soul Reaper, Scared Strike, Festering Strike, Death Guard by 25% damage to enemies below 35% health. Crazy shit, man. Good times if you're an unholy DK. Bad times if you're facing them. Straight up. Okay, so Evoker. Disintegrate damage increased by 50%. I don't really know how to contextualize that. Don't know enough about Evokers to know how big of a deal that is. Marksmanship, all damage reduced by 3%. Ooh. So a little bit surprised by this one. I guess they're overperforming in PvE. To me, Hunters don't feel that strong at all, like any of the specs really in PvP, but there you go. For Mages, we have Fire and Frost getting huge blanket buffs to basically all of their core abilities, which, honestly, fantastic, man. I'm very, very, very happy with... I'm very, very happy for my Mage cousins, you know? As a Warlock player, Mages are always our little rivals, you know what I mean? And just... never seeing them ever in arenas because they suck so bad, or just like seeing the occasional arcane mage. It's kind of sad, man. Like, where's all the fire mages? Where's all the frost mages at, you know? Well, hopefully we're going to be seeing more of them with these buffs. I honestly don't know if these buffs are even going to be enough, but we'll see what happens, man. Good shit though overall, right? Windwalker, all ability damage reduced by 3%. So this is the beginning of some blanket nerfs for Windwalker, which we'll get to a bit more in the PvP changes. Priest looks like they're just getting across the board damage buffs as well. Little bit scary. I have big problems against Shadow Priest in PvP. I feel like there's very, very little counterplay to these bastards. They have so much instant cast utility, and I don't really know what to do about it a lot of the time. It feels like trading them doesn't do much. It feels like ignoring them doesn't do much. I mean, you can like rotate CC on them, but that only gets you so far. I don't know, man. I feel like Shadow's pretty fucking strong, and I'm a bit surprised to see these changes. But there you go, man. Maybe Shadow Priest will vehemently disagree with me in the comments, you know what I mean? So Rogues, blanket damage reductions. Always nice to see as a Warlock player. Fucking Rogues, man. Enhancement, same thing. Then Affliction, we have a bunch of single target damage buffers going on as well as, again, that small casable damage increase, which I think I already covered the Warlock changes here, but there you go. We did it again real quick. Arms Warriors, all ability damage increased by 3%, Mortal Strike damage increased by a further 10, and XQ damage increased by 10. Feels like they're really trying to catch Arms Warriors up. Again, I feel like Fury is just super, super powerful. It's getting a small buff as well, by the way, to its 2-set, but I feel like Fury's super powerful, just like Unholy is super powerful with DKs, and I feel like Arms is like the forgotten spec for Warrior, whereas Frost is also the forgotten spec for DK, but Arms is getting the love and Frost is just really getting shafted. So I don't know, man, but there it is. Arms Warriors will be happy, I guess. So yeah, we are on to now the PvP only changes for the rest of the classes. Just blaze through these real fast. Resto Druids, like I said, getting a Life Bloom healing nerf. Balance Druids getting some swollen, veiny, erect, grainy, diced buffs right here, man. With 20% damage buffs to, yeah, most of their sustained DPS. Very, very lovely. Also to Stat Sage, actually. Holy shit. Yeah. Good to see, I think. I hope that I don't regret these words. I don't want to get one-shotted by a Balance Druid anytime soon, but at the same time, you don't see them that often. So, just like Mage, it feels nice, man, to see them getting some real love. Minor nerf to Leader of the Pack for Feral Druid. Not sure how impactful that is. I expected more buffs to Holy Paladin. Gotta be honest, mana regeneration being reduced by 35% in PvP. Which is technically up from 40%, right? So it's like a slight buff to their mana regeneration in PvP combat. That's all they're getting? Really, dude? I feel like Holy Paladins just kind of get dunked, man. Especially against a Priest, it feels like it's just a free loss. Like, they just get their bubble MD'd and just get trained into the ground and just die. I don't know, man. That's my experience with it. I expected more, but there you go. Maybe more will be coming down the pipeline. Don't lose hope, Holy Paladins. We need you in solo shuffle. There's no fucking healers queuing, please. Okay, Priest, we have Disc getting more mana regeneration as well in PvP combat. They're getting their 50% Malice or debuff reduced to a 5% debuff to mana regeneration. Very lovely. Feels like Disc goes very, very fast, so it's good to see. And Shadow. Okay, I think we're getting some nerfs here. So the Void Volley Horrify effect is being reduced from 3 to 2 seconds, which is grand. 3 seconds is the kind of duration that makes me panic and feel like, oh fuck, like one of my teammates is dying. Do I trinket a 3-second horror? Do I sit it? 2 seconds is going to make that decision much, much easier, so that's fine at least. They're reducing the damage of Void Volley by 30%. So yeah, this feels like they're reducing the healing transfer of Vampiric Embrace as well by 20% in PvP. Damn. Okay. Oh wow, they're also reducing the absorb value of Power Word Shield by 20% in PvP combat, so Alright. Shadowware Death nerfs as well. So it feels like they're reducing a lot of, like, what, the utility and the survivability a little bit in PvP for Shadow, but at the same time, they're getting a lot more damage. Gonna be very, very interesting to see how this all shakes out, right? So Shadow's gonna be a bit squishier, a little bit less utility in the form of its Horrify CC. But at the same time, blanket damage buffs to everything by like 20%. So I don't know, man. I don't know how this is gonna pan out. I still feel like Shadowplay is going to be a very, very, very powerful comp, but there you go. Just because of the blanket damage buffs, but... So Monks are getting some increased sustained damage with buffs to Blackout Kick and Tiger Palm, which I think is fine. These aren't really like hugely problematic abilities, but at the same time they are getting Strike of the Windlord damage nerfs by 30%, so pretty fucking steep. It looks like they're trying to dial back the burst damage of Windwalker Monks while slightly buffing the sustained damage. This doesn't feel like that's quite enough to me, to be honest. I feel like 15% on an ability that's not like absolutely... It's not doming people in the first place, you know? So I feel like they could honestly have buffed these abilities by like, what, 20-25%? If they're going to nerf this so much. Or just don't nerf Strike of the Windlord by 30. Like maybe 20% would have been fine. I don't know, dude. This feels like it might be a little bit steep. We'll see how things pan out, you know what I mean? Also, Mistweaver as well is losing some of its mana regen in PvP. 5% up to 15% reduced mana regeneration in PvP. Interesting shit. Feels like healers just never go anywhere, by the way. It feels like the only healer I've ever seen actually go in arenas, like ever, is first of all Pingu when he's healing us on his Resto Druid and we're getting trained by double melee. That happens quite often. And Disc Priests. Everything else seems like this mana regen was just crazy. So Rogues, what do we got here, man? We got some Numbing Poison, attack and cast speed debuff effectiveness reduced by 1/3 in PvP combat. Very cool. Blah, blah, blah. We got bleed damage, I believe, reduced by 30% in PvP combat. Oh, I should read the full thing. Deathmark's damage dealt by duplicated poisons and bleeds reduced by 30% in PvP. Don't know what Deathmark is, but fuck it. I see damage reduction, and I'm happy. Subtlety, secret technique damage reduced by 30% in PvP combat. So, yeah, they actually note here down below that secret technique has potential to lead to burst windows with minimal counterplay. So we are toning it / them down. I don't want to see rogues get over nerfed. You know, I fucking hate playing up against rogues. I really, really despise it as a Warlock player. I feel like everything I can do, they can do instant cast while running at 300% movement speed. But at the same time, I want a balanced game. I don't just want to see them get absolutely annihilated. Let me know if you're a rogue main, how you're feeling about those changes, man, down below. Are they too much? Will you be just fine? Let us know, man. So, Shaman's Healing Stream Totem healing increased by 15% in PvP combat. You might actually want to prioritize killing this healing stream now, if you see it pop up. Elemental Blast has been... Elemental Blast damage reduced for both Ellie and Enhance in PvP combat. Must have been a little bit too bursty. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Elemental Shamans do nothing to me at all. And other games, I feel like they just fucking one-shot one of my teammates, and I don't know what the hell happened. So yeah, there's that. Restoration Shamans, I would have expected slightly more buffs than just a buff to Riptide healing. This is good, it's a start. I do feel like fucking blue healers really struggle with the current game. It feels like, at least, like IQ ranked solo shuffle, there's melees everywhere. And if there's a Resto Shaman, that guy is getting fucking trained into the ground, you know? So I expected a bit more than this, but there you go, man. I expected maybe like an Earth Shield buff to like Resto only or something, you know? I don't know, man. Okay, and the Warlock changes we've already covered. Fury, slight damage nerfs. Damage mitigation nerfs while in PvP. Warpaint now reduces damage taken by 5%, was 10% while enraged in PvP combat. And they enraged like all the time, you know, in PvP, so they just pretty much always had this 10% damage mitigation. So yeah, I completely agree with the developer's note, by the way, which I've already read. We feel our Fury Warriors are too durable, even after last week's adjustments to their self-healing from Bloodthirst. Yeah, I agree completely. I feel like Fury Warriors are just fucking mental. And seeing Arms get steadily buffed and Fury dial down a little bit at a time is perfect in my opinion, man. So yeah, those are the changes. They've taken a chisel to some classes. They've taken a sledgehammer to others. Both in terms of buffs and nerfs. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Let's have some discussion action going. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed this happy little patch notes video. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I shall catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.